The first book of Chronicles, chapter 28. Now David assembled all the princes of Israel, the princes of the tribes, and the captains of the bands that served the king, and the captains of thousands, and the captains of hundreds, and the rulers of all the substance and possession of the king and of his sons, with the eunuchs and the mighty, and all the men of power, unto Jerusalem. And King David stood up upon his feet, and said, Hear ye me, my brethren and my people. I purpose to have built an house of rest for the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and for a footstool of our God, and have made ready for the building. But God said unto me, Thou shalt not build an house for my name, because thou hast been a man of war, and hast shed blood. Yet as the Lord God of Israel chose me before all the house of my father to be king over Israel forever, for in Judah would he choose a prince, and of the house of Judah is the house of my father, and among the sons of my father he delighted in me, to make me king over all Israel. So all of my sons, for the Lord hath given me many sons, he hath even chosen Solomon my son, to sit upon the throne of the kingdom of the Lord over Israel. And he said unto me, Solomon thy son, he shall build mine house and my courts, for I have chosen him to be my son, and I will be his father. I will establish therefore his kingdom forever, if he endeavor himself to do my commandments and my judgments as this day. Now therefore, in the sight of all Israel, the congregation of the Lord, and in the audience of our God, keep and seek for all the commandments of the Lord your God, that ye may possess the good land, and leave it for an inheritance for your children after you forever. And thou, Solomon my son, know thou the God of thy father, and serve him with a perfect heart and with a willing mind. For the Lord searcheth all hearts, and understandeth all the imaginations of thoughts. If thou seek him, he will be found by thee. But if thou forsake him, he will cast thee off forever. Take heed now, for the Lord hath chosen thee to build the house of the sanctuary. Be strong therefore, and do it. Then David gave to Solomon his son the pattern of the porch, and of the houses thereof, and of the closets thereof, and of the galleries thereof, and of the chambers thereof that are within, and of the house of the mercy seat, and the pattern of all that he had in his mind for the courts of the house of the Lord, and for all the chambers round about, for the treasures of the house of God, and for the treasures of the dedicated things, and of the courses of the priests, and of the Levites, and for all the work for the service of the house of the Lord, and for all the vessels of the ministry of the house of the Lord. He gave of gold by weight, for the vessels of gold, for all the vessels of the manner of service, and all the vessels of silver by weight, for all manners of vessels of all manner of service. The weight also of gold for the candlesticks, and gold for their lamps, with the weight of every candlestick, and for the lamps thereof, and for the candlesticks of silver, by the weight of the candlestick, and the lamps thereof according to the use of every candlestick, and the weight of the gold for the tables of showbread, for every table, and silver for the tables of silver, and pure gold for the flesh hooks, and the bowls and the plates, and for basins, gold in weight for every basin, and for silver basins, by weight for every basin, and for the altar of incense, pure gold by weight, and gold for the pattern of the chariot of the cherubs that spread themselves, and covered the ark of the covenant of the Lord. All, said he, by writing sent to me by the hand of the Lord, which made me understand all the workmanship of the pattern. And David said to Solomon his son, Be strong and of a valiant courage, and do it. Fear not, nor be afraid, for the Lord God, even my God, is with thee. He will not leave thee nor forsake thee, till thou hast finished all the work for the service of the house of the Lord. Behold also the companies of the priests and the Levites for all the service of the house of God. Even they shall be with thee for the whole work. with every free heart that is skillful in any manner of service. The princes also and all the people will be holy at thy commandment. 1 Chronicles chapter 29. Moreover, David the king said unto all the congregation, God hath chosen Solomon mine only son, young and tender, and the work is great. For his house is not for man, but for the Lord God. Now I have prepared with all my power for the house of my God, gold for vessels of gold, and silver for them of silver, and brass for things of brass, iron for things of iron, and wood for things of wood, and onyx stones and stones to be set, and carbuncle stones, and of diverse colors, and all precious stones, and marble stones in abundance. Moreover, because I delight in the house of my God, I have mine own gold and silver, which I have given to the house of my God, beside all that I have prepared for the house of the sanctuary, even 3,000 talents of gold, of the gold of Ophir, and 7,000 talents of refined silver, to overlay the walls of the houses, the gold for the things of gold, and the silver for the things of silver, and for all the work by the hands of the artificers. And who is willing to fill his hand today unto the Lord? So the princes of the families, and the princes of the tribes of Israel, and the captains of thousands and of hundreds, with the rulers of the king's work, offered willingly. And they gave for the service of the house of God 5,000 talents of gold, and 10,000 pieces, and 10,000 talents of silver, and 18,000 talents of brass, and 100,000 talents of iron. And they with whom precious stones were found gave them to the treasure of the house of the Lord by the hand of Jehiel the Gershonite. And the people rejoiced when they offered willingly, for they offered wholly unto the Lord with a perfect heart. And David the king also rejoiced with great joy. Therefore David blessed the Lord before all the congregation. And David said, Blessed be thou, O Lord God of Israel, our Father, forever and ever. Thine, O Lord, is greatness and power, and glory and victory and praise. For all that is in heaven and in the earth is thine. Thine is the kingdom, O Lord, and thou excellest as head over all. Both riches and honor come of thee. Thou reignest over all, and in thine hand is power and strength, and in thine hand it is to make great, and to give strength unto all. Now therefore, our God, we thank thee, and praise thy glorious name. But who am I, and what is my people, that we should be able to offer willingly after this sort? For all things come of thee, and thine own hand. For we are strangers before thee, and sojourners like all our fathers. Our days are like the shadow upon the earth, and there is none abiding. O Lord our God, all this abundance that we have prepared to build thee an house for thine holy name is of thine hand, and all is thine. I know also, my God, that thou triest the heart, and hast pleasure in righteousness. I have offered willingly in the uprightness of mine heart all these things. Now also I have seen thy people, which are found here, to offer unto thee willingly with joy. O Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel our fathers, keep this forever in the purpose and the thoughts of the heart of the people, and prepare their hearts unto thee, and give unto Solomon my son a perfect heart to keep thy commandments, thy testimonies, and thy statutes, and to do all things, and to build the house which I have prepared. And David said to all the congregation, Now bless the Lord your God. And all the congregation blessed the Lord God of their fathers, and bowed down their heads, and worshipped the Lord and the king. And they offered sacrifices unto the Lord. And on the morrow after that day they offered burnt offerings unto the Lord, even 1,000 young bullocks, and 1,000 sheep, with their drink offerings and sacrifices in abundance for all Israel. And they did eat and drink before the Lord the same day with great joy. And they made Solomon the son of David king the second time, and anointed him prince before the Lord, and Zadok for the high priest. So Solomon sat on the throne of the Lord as king instead of his father David, and prospered, and all Israel obeyed him. And all the princes and men of power, and all the sons of King David, submitted themselves under King Solomon. And the Lord magnified Solomon in dignity in the sight of all Israel, and gave him so glorious a kingdom as no king had before him in Israel. Thus David, the son of Jesse, reigned over all Israel. And the space that he reigned over Israel was 40 years. 7 years reigned he in Hebron, and 33 years reigned he in Jerusalem. And he died a good age, full of days, riches, and honor. And Solomon his son reigned in his stead. Concerning the acts of David the king, first and last, behold, they are written in the book of Samuel the seer, and in the book of Nathan the prophet, and in the book of Gad the seer, with all his reign and his power, the times that went over him, and over Israel, and over all the kingdoms of the earth.